Good morning! Natatawa naman ako. Dali, I am amused by your background. Saan mo napulot yan? They are all icons. Once upon a time, all good stories starts with once upon a time. There was a wife, and she had a husband who was very negative. Always complaining, always looking at the bad things in life, constantly whining why this is that, why this is this. And at the same time, he's never helping him because he's always negative. Naturally, wala na siyang ginagawa. Hindi siya tumutulong sa bahay, hindi niya ginagawa mga tungkulin niya, and he expects everybody to take care of him. Why? Because he thinks everything is so negative. Everything is so negative. Yun na lang ang ginagawa niya araw-araw, complaining and talking about how evil things are all around. So obsessed about that one. One day, he went out with his donkey. And even to his donkey, he started to complain, he started to whine, he started to talk about those negative things that are happening. Nainis yung donkey niya sa kanya. The donkey kicked him. And he died. This is a tragic story. During the funeral, the priest noticed that every time men would come to the widow, she was nodding yes. And every time women were coming to the widow, she was shaking her head and saying no. So nagtaka naman yung priest. What was that all about? Lahat ng lalaki, yes. Lahat ng babae, no. So the priest asked, why are you saying that? What is that all about? And the woman said, the men, when they come, they ask me how I was, whether I'm okay. And I said, I'm perfectly all right. But when the women come, they ask me whether or not the donkey was for sale. And I answer, no. The readings today seem to be doom and gloom. Naka! Before the pandemic, meron ng mga ganun. Meron ng mga conspiracy scenarios, mga end of times, mga end of the world scenarios, things like that. Nung dumating ang pandemic, wow, mas marami pa. So many of these end of times, end of the world things that are going to happen. And naturally, the proponents of those doom and gloom are probably quote this gospel and quote the readings in order to prove their point. Daniel was talking about the archangel Michael shall with a trumpet announce the end of time. And then in the gospel, Jesus talks about the sun darkening, the moon not sending its light, and the stars falling. Terror. If you were to think of these as literal, of course you would be frightened. But then you are very wrong. Very wrong. The readings is not wanting us to be fearful, but is inviting us, in fact, to hope. Ha? Ano? To hope. Di ba nakakatakot? This husband, very negative, kicked by his donkey, represents those people who are totally wrong about their concept about God and about how He operates. How God operates, how God acts. The readings are not about disaster. It is about deliverance from disaster. apocalyptic writings, eschatological writings, they are full of vivid imagery and symbols. And for the Jews, first reading, our readings are written by Jews. They are an invitation. They are talking about situations in which there is already oppression. Ang sitwasyon, grabe na. It's not talking about magiging grabe ang sitwasyon. No, no, no. These apocalyptic writings, these eschatological writings were written during a time there was so much evil that was happening. Ang sitwasyon, grabe na. Hindi yung darating pa yung grabe. Hindi. It is a period of great difficulties for the faithful. The aim is not to frighten. The aim is to give an assurance. Totally the opposite. The basic message is, cool ka lang. Hang in there. Deliverance is about to come. Persevere lang in goodness. Kahit ano pa ang nangyayari. Itong mga falling stars, itong mga sun not shining, and this moon not giving its brightness, they are nangyayari. Hindi siya mangyayari. Kapish? But the world remains totally in the hands of God, who will never allow evil and oppression to triumph forever. Because where sin abounds, St. Paul says, grace abounds all the more. Nako. There will be a great reckoning. All these evil things, all these ugly things, when it comes to their height, it is only a sign that there will be a great judgment coming. The wicked will be cast out. Itataboy ang masama. At ang mga mananatiling matapat sa Kanya, they will be vindicated. Amen. The fundamental message is not of gloom and doom, not a threat. God does not threaten us. It's all about encouragement, comfort, assurance. Christ already foresaw the turmoil on an international level. That is, if followers will be persecuted, there will be betrayal and deceit even within the community of Christians. Ay nako, ang gulo. Ay nako, pambihira kayong lahat. Ayoko na. Quits na ako. And when all these things happen, that is a temptation to give up. Father, wala tayong laban. Bakit? Kailangan ba makipag-away? Kailangan ba makipag-away? Nakikipag-away ba tayo dapat? Pwede bang gawin lang natin ang tama, lagi-lagi? Persevering in goodness? Remember that when Christ was crucified, seemingly evil won, nanalo ang masama. But this is not true. His resurrection, His triumph extends over the entire universe. So, no matter the situation in the world, no matter the situation in our beloved country, no matter the situation in our families, maybe troubling, maybe nakakatakot, maybe mabigat, maybe mahirap, but ang kinabukasan ay nasa kamay ng Diyos. He will come in glory. Nasa kamay ng Diyos, tayong lahat. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Wala sa kamay ng mga oppressors. Wala sa mga kamay ng exploiters. Wala sa kamay ng mga namamatay tao. Wala sa kamay nila. The message of this Sunday is, in this moment of grief and uncertainty, vindication is assured. That we know and we are sure of. What we do not know is how much longer will we continue to struggle. We do not know that. But to the one who perseveres, victory will happen. Those who perceive in negativity, sayang, yung donkey is not for sale. Let us pause for a while and allow God to speak to us. Our opening chant from Jeremiah, what I read in the beginning of the Holy Mass, I quote it again. The Lord said, not me, the Lord said, I think thoughts of peace and not affliction. You will call upon me and I will answer you, and I will lead back your captives from every place. Ito ang panghawakan sana natin. Fear has no future. Fear cannot, anumang kabutihan, hindi pwedeng manggaling yan sa fear. Papakabait tayo kasi takot tayo, it will not last. It will not work. It's only love. And the Lord does not operate on fear. Hindi siya nananakot. Talagang tapos na ako. Let us